Welcome back, Covenant. And we are going to be taking up agenda item 25. So the moderator recognizes Steve Klimkowski, Executive Director of Finance and our church treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Good afternoon, church. I am pleased to meet with you again. Before I get to the main purpose of this session, which is the fiscal year 2022 budget recommendation, I first want to share an important communication from our advancement team. It reads, "We want to thank all our churches and individual donors who join with us in supporting our covenant mission and ministry through their prayers and financial support. We believe in an abundant God who calls us into lives of generosity and service. We know that with God, all things are possible. Over the past year, we have been overwhelmed with gratitude for your generosity. Your gifts join together with others to make mission possible. Because of you, we are able to see more people transformed by the love of Christ, share and tell more of God's story, and support our pastors, churches, and global personnel as they serve as the hands and feet of Christ, bringing compassion and hope to places near and far. In the coming year, we are launching 2 new initiatives to ensure that we continue to steward your gifts well. First, we are upgrading our online giving platform so that it is much easier to make a gift from your computer, tablet, or mobile device. We have selected a leading platform for missionary sending organizations, SiteStacker, who has years of experience working with churches and church organizations to make giving to mission and ministry easy and impactful. We anticipate launching this new online giving platform by September of 2021. Our online giving platform, CovGiving, will continue to be available for those churches who are using it to collect offerings from their congregation members for their own church finances. Second, we are upgrading our gift processing to allow us to better serve donors who prefer giving by check. Later this summer, we will begin using a lockbox system, which is a secure and efficient way for gifts by check to be processed directly by our banking partner. The only change that will occur on the donor side is that gifts by check will be sent to a P.O. box address for ease of processing. Our Covenant Finance and Advancement teams will continue to provide timely acknowledgments and tax receipts for all gifts made to the denomination. These upgrades are the result of our efforts to better serve our churches, pastors, and congregations as we partner together in going deeper in Christ and further in mission. Details will be placed on our website and in our print materials once these systems go live. Thank you. I want to personally add that we have an amazing mission-driven advancement team who truly cares for our donors and the kingdom work that their generosity makes possible. They are constantly working to upgrade our ability to steward your gifts well. So let's turn to the fiscal year 2022 budget recommendation. In your delegate packet, there is a brief summary of the proposal we are bringing before you today. I do apologize for the lack of detail in that summary. Normally, we provide you with much more information in advance of this meeting. However, the days and weeks leading up to this meeting were anything but normal. The budget recommendation was initially prepared in full reflection of the SAT proposal. However, as you are aware, the Executive Board voted in mid-May to defer the SAT vote for 1 year. That's a good thing in that it provides us all with adequate time for discussion, prayer, discernment, and feedback. However, deferring the vote also meant that we had to come up with a whole new budget in a matter of days. I am very grateful to Scott Dennis, the amazing chair of our Finance Committee, who helped us to formulate a workable budget strategy while that short window was open to us. With that strategy, we calculated the budget total that is included in your delegate packet. I am grateful for this opportunity now to share more detail with you regarding that recommendation and its components. First, our budget goals. Our primary goal is always to steward our resources in a manner that sustains and advances our mission. In order to mission well, we must steward well. Our budget must also honor the intent of our donors. We understand that we are entrusted with your gifts and are expected to steward those funds in a manner that glorifies God and honors the body of Christ. We also work to maximize our dollars into mission while assuring that we maintain adequate and effective mission support. Finally, we need to remain on track to balance our budget by fiscal year 2024. Yesterday, I shared with you that our total budget has been operating at a deficit. This morning I shared with you that our total budget has been operating at a deficit for the past 5 years or so. I want to spend a few moments fleshing that out for you. This chart details the funding of our budget over the past 5 years, beginning with fiscal year 2017 on the left to our present budget year, 2021, all the way on the right. The black line with the dots represents the size of our total budget spend in each of those years. The stacked bars beneath the line represent the total amount of provision available that year. The blue bar is the amount of giving and income available, and the green bar is the formulaic annual draw that we make from our bequest reserves. As the chart indicates, our annual investment in mission has run significantly ahead of our mission provision. The gap between the black line and the stacked bars below is the amount of annual budget shortfall, a deficit that we have been funding with reserve withdrawals. The size of that shortfall peaked in 2019 at just over $2.6 million. Clearly, this is not a sustainable trend. And as I noted this morning, the finance team and the finance committee have been hard at work to create a more sustainable paradigm. You can see some of the fruit of that work in the 2021 budget that reduced the size of the expected shortfall to approximately $574,000. It's important, therefore, that the recommendation we bring you today continues to advance our stewardship and puts us in a position to balance our budget by fiscal year 2024. So let's start with the bottom line. The 2022 budget proposal totals $17,581,336. That represents a 2.8% increase in the core mission budget and a 4.3% increase in the total budget over 2021. Let me unpack for you how we got to that total. First, we pulled forward the totals from our 2021 budget and held them flat year over year. There are a couple things worth noting about our 2021 budget. First, it is our smallest budget since 2016. Second, that budget was constructed only 10 months ago with the full input and collaboration of the Covenant Office's leadership team. It is especially important that the best thinking of our mission leaders is reflected in the budget recommendation. Next, we added all new embedded costs since the adoption of the 2021 budget. For example, if a new hire is compensated at a different rate than was budgeted in 2021, we need to reflect that new embedded cost. Then to that total, we added a 2.5% increase in our compensation and benefit pool. In keeping with our 2024 balanced budget goal, we then imposed a 5% across-the-board budget cut. External appropriations were excluded from that budget cut. Finally, we added in all new non-discretionary 2022 income and expenses. For example, there will be significant nominating fees associated with next year's elections of our denominational president and our executive minister of ordered ministry. This may be a little easier to follow in spreadsheet form. This slide displays the budget template for our investment in mission. The template is divided into three major categories of mission activity. First is our core mission investment, which is comprised of our 5 mission priorities plus our mission support. Next, we break out appropriations for church planting activity. Traditionally, we included the annual draw from our Living Legacy funds, closed church funds that we recycle into new church plants, in the income section of our budget, but it is more proper to show it as a net against appropriations. It is a formulaic draw against a reserve fund based upon our level of church plant activity. Finally, we break out the appropriations to our mission friends, North Park University, and our global personnel. Now please look to the top of this spreadsheet and follow along with me column by column. The first column is simply the approved 2021 budget, our current budget year. In column 2, we add the 2.5% increase in our compensation and benefits pool, plus any new embedded budget adjustments. The third column is the total of the first 2 columns. The fourth column shows the details of the 5% budget cut. The fifth column adds the new mandatory expenses we undertake in 2022. The highlighted column is the resulting totals, or the 2022 budget recommendation. In the lower right-hand corner, you can see the $17.6 million total I included in your delegate packet. Please note that although the total budget is 4.3% larger than the previous year, the core mission investment increases only 2.8%. The total budget number reflects the 23.3% increase in net church appropriations, the result of more normal levels of church planting activity in 2022, which is a good thing. The income or mission provision component of our recommendation is much more straightforward. We simply pull forward the budgeted income from 2021 and make 2 adjustments. One adjustment is a $443,000 increase in the mission equity category. These new funds derive from a Serve Globally initiative of an extra 10% annual fundraise by our wonderful global personnel to help support the crucial infrastructure that makes their ministry possible. We also made a small adjustment to reflect the loss of previous rental income. This all results in a mission provision total of approximately $16.7 million, or a 2.5% increase over the previous year. In the next slide, we summarize and net these totals to gain a sense of overall budget impact. As the data indicates, the 2022 budget projects a budget shortfall of approximately $883,000. However, it is important to weigh this in light of a return to more normal levels of mission activity as the pandemic fades. Our last full year of normal mission activity was 2019, and as I detailed earlier, our total budget shortfall that year was over $2.6 million. Other than the pandemic-depressed 2021 budget, the recommendation I bring before you today would result in the smallest covenant budget since 2017. We believe this budget meets the stewardship goals I outlined earlier and keeps us on track to balance our budget by 2024. We bring you this proposal with the concurrence of the Council of Administrators, a group of leaders comprised of the Covenant Office's leadership team and our affiliate heads, and is recommended to you by the Finance Committee and the Executive Board. This budget proposal represents all we do together: local church, conferences, and denomination. In conclusion, we are extremely grateful for your prayers, your gifts, your encouragement, and your activities in support of our shared mission. We promise you that we will endeavor to faithfully steward God's provision to His church. We aim to ensure that the covenant has the financial resources it needs to both sustain and grow its mission. So, Mr. Moderator, it is my pleasure to bring a recommendation from the Finance Committee, the Covenant Council of Administrators, and ultimately the Executive Board to approve the 2022 mission investment budget of $17,500,000 $581,336. Thank you.